Hello and welcome back to Super Wall Jump, a video game podcast where we talk to content creators and video game consumers and everything in between. I'm your host, Lawson Newland, and today I have.
I'm Sharon Harrington, 40 something gamers.
Marquivas Nias, 40 something gamers.
What's going on, y'all?
Thank you guys for coming on, of course. Who are you guys and what do you do?
So, we are the hosts of 40 something gamers. It's a podcast about me and Sharon, Gen X best friend gamers. We met back 30 years ago, 1994, and the bond that we had, we talked about pop culture, music, and our love of video games. Matter of fact, I was there. I was the guy that brought him to get his PlayStation. So the
Yeah,
game is just basically about two best friends, Gen X, 40 something gamers talking about pop culture, being 40 something, and our love of video games.
yes.
Makes sense. What is y'all's favorite game of all time? Like individually.
Oh man, you know what? I am a big fan of Double Dragon. That's like one of my go-tos.
Mm,
That's like the first fighting game that I played. And I love the Double Dragon series,
mm,
with the exception of number four. I'm sorry, not number four. It was one five. I'm sorry.
mm.
I didn't like five, but Double Dragon one, two, three was difficult. Super Double Dragon, those are Double Dragon was just my game.
Why did you not like 5?
They tried to make it too much like I want to say Street Fighter. It was too much. It was too one on one. I like the side scrolling based Streets
Mm.
of Rage style fighting. I didn't. I think the Street Fighter needed to be left on that side. They were trying to follow the trend of Mortal Kombat too much. I think, and it wasn't to me. It wasn't original, and I just never cared for it.
It didn't trust its own style enough to really make an impact.
Right, and the Neo Geo arcade also made Double Dragon, which was okay, but nah, I like the arcade, the original
Mm.
style Super Nintendo, that was my jam. Still to this day.
Makes sense. Marcus?
All right, yeah, I'm going to say Sonic Adventure. That brought us in to Sega's last greatest console. And I just remember to this day, I still have it. Once I saw it on the Dreamcast, it was like, wow, much to be desired, 3D, open world, still fast, graphics impressive. And I still think to this day, it still holds up, tried and true.
Sonic Adventure 1 or 2?
I like one. I like the OG, the original.
You like 1. Okay. I want to know why you prefer 1 to 2.
Uh, because it was mainly because it was in Sonic's world, and I guess
Mm.
I can't get past San Francisco. I like Sonic in his green zones in his world, and then I thought some of the characters we you got to play kind of quirky, but
Mm.
I like the OG.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Big the Cat sections I are something else. I went back and I played Sonic Adventure recently and I was like, "Oh, okay. I haven't touched this in 20 years and I'm grateful that I did." It tries so many things and it succeeds at some of them,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
Right.
how I feel. Sonic Adventure 2 tries less stuff, but it's also more successful on average.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like those the stages on Sonic 2 that I didn't like was the one where you played with Knuckles and you had to find the gemstones.
Mhm.
It was a bit of a slowdown for me and I struggled with that a bit. But overall, I really did enjoy Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
That was a solid game. It was great, and I still have it. Dreamcast.
Yeah, I think what did it for me was the tornado stage for Sonic One. That yeah,
Mhm.
still to this day blows
Oh
my mind.
yeah, yeah, that was cool. When you wind up on a roller coaster, like you just like running through the sky.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
When you're
wild.
literally running on air. I
yeah.
will
Yeah,
say a lot of the stage diversity in Sonic Adventure 1 is absolutely killer. Uh,
yeah.
you'll be running on tornadoes. You're going to be running, through a crazy casino. You're going through a theme park, which is
Hmm.
it's different than a casino level somehow. It's pretty
You'll be
good.
running down side of a building. I remember that
Yeah.
Yeah.
also.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and awesome soundtrack.
And then even with
Oh yeah.
the first stage with the killer whale, that was
Yeah,
yeah, that was awesome.
yeah. I remember the first time I played that demo was in Edgewater Mall, And all of a sudden it was just there. I was like, oh, a new Sega. And man, that was the first game I played along with Power Stone. And it was a Marvel vs. Capcom, I believe. That
Yeah.
was they were, and it was all the Japanese version at that time because it hadn't been released in America. It wasn't going to be for another couple months, but that was the version that they had, and it was a good time.
Because I think Sharon, you were like me, man. You got it 9,999.
Yep,
Yep, and
day
that's what I
one.
got. Sonic Adventure, and
Yep,
then I want to say Power Stone were my first two
yeah,
games.
yeah. Mine, I want to say it was Sonic Adventure. Yeah, and somewhere around Hydro Thunder. But I
Oh
also
yeah,
remember having to bring them back, because the first run of those games, there was some kind of a glitch, and you had to take it back. And you had to get the ones that said hot new. They would only sell that because if you tried to save your memory on the original games, the memory card would hold it for whatever reason. So, I mean, it was a recall on a few of those games. But yes, if you ever see hot new on the side of those games, that's why.
I do miss the era of memory cards. I miss being able to say, "Hey, check out my save file on this game," and you can hand it off to a friend, and they can open it up and be like, "Wow, I didn't know that you could do all this. What do you
yeah,
Right.
mean you can play as Luigi?"
Right.
yeah,
See, I
yeah.
never did that. I've never actually I've never tried anybody else's save file.
Mm.
That was one thing I've never tried. But
I
yeah,
got a memory card when I was a kid for that had a Wind Waker save on it. That
Mm.
was just about it in game, and I was not a coordinated child or good at video games. And I was
yeah,
like, "What? What? You have all these different kinds of arrows? You could do all of this?"
yeah.
I didn't get past the mandatory stealth section they had in that game for some reason.
Yeah. And when
Wind
I
Waker was a great game.
Oh yeah.
and then I had one of my old roommate when I had Sonic Adventure. He went through everybody first. He's the one that beat it first. And I'm like, man, let me hop on your memory card and let
Mhm.
me let me play. And then I think the one cool thing about the Dreamcast was the memory card. Was it the VMU card? You could
Yeah,
play little games within the VMU card as you were playing
yeah,
the games. And you remember you had to collect those little pets that Sonic had.
Yeah,
yeah,
the Chow. They had them in not just Sonic Adventure 2, but also in the original Sonic Adventure.
Yeah,
mhm,
Although there was a lot less to do with them in Sonic Adventure 1, I believe.
yeah,
They were still there, but it's like, okay, cool. Well, you're not gonna get too much out of this, but it was cool to have little pets.
yeah,
yeah. That was like it was another trend that they had in the late '90s. It's like a Domagotchi or something like that.
A
Like you take it
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. Yeah, and I think that's what they were doing at the same time because you could take the chia pet out and you had to take care of it. And I used to bring it to
Mhm.
work and keep it in your pocket and you take care of it and just make sure he's okay. It was Yeah, and then the battery on it died, so I don't know how he's doing now.
He's living his best Tamagotchi life in heaven. It's
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
So how did you guys meet?
So I grew up in a military brat, and I transferred. Was it 11th grade? It was 11th grade year, right,
11th
Sharon?
grade, yep.
Yeah, 11th grade
Yep.
year. I transferred from New Jersey to Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
Mhm.
And he was one of the first people I met. I forget what class was it in history
Miss
class?
Holmes. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Miss Holmes'
in
class,
history
man.
class.
We were
Yeah,
getting we were doing group projects and we needed another person. And I was like, hey, yo, what's your name? You want to come be in our group? And then we just hit it off. And it's like,
yeah,
and that's where it started. Yeah, man.
And friends ever since.
yeah.
Ever since.
And now you guys have a podcast. Why did you choose to make a podcast about video games versus anything else in the world?
Oh, because well, I mean, we had so much in common with the video
Oh
games,
yeah,
Mhm.
we basically played the same games at the same time, and it's like, it was almost like a brother from another mother,
yeah,
And
Mhm.
it's like, hey, yo, I played that game. It's like, I got that game. It's like, you played that game? Also, it's like, yeah, I remember that game. It's like, I played that game, and it was, why not video games,
and
and
we still do it to this day. Like
yeah.
he'll tell me about a video game like the new Ninja Gaiden just came out,
Mhm.
or
Hmm.
and it's like really. You're like, oh yeah, let me go download it, and then
Yeah.
even he just let me have his Sega Saturn since I
Yep.
got rid of mine, and it's been enduring throughout the years.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Stuff I took care of that. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna give it to anybody. I gave it to him, because I
Yeah,
always looked out for me. So like, yeah.
makes sense. How was the role of gaming changed in y'all's lives from 11th grade to today?
Man, you want to take that first?
How has it changed my life?
Uh, the
No
role
change.
of gaming in your
Yeah,
life,
from then
right?
to now.
Like when I was in high school, I would sometimes play games. Like, okay,
Oh,
cool, I need to relax.
well,
Now I play games more as like a social thing.
so back then, I guess you could say I was like a lot of kids at that time. It's like it was one of the things I just every day I did it.
Mhm,
Now I guess I do it more or less to be nostalgic,
mhm,
relaxed, just kind of kick back for a few minutes and, just take a load off the day. Throw in a few levels of maybe Street Fighter, like, or, I'll jump and play Sonic the Hedgehog. And I may not play, but maybe 20 or 30 minutes. Like last night,
mhm,
there was a game called the Ninja Warriors that was on the Super Nintendo. And I didn't realize that they released it on Nintendo Switch. And, I'm always on the marketplace just looking at the sales. And I happened to see that game and I was like, oh, wow, I never got to play this, but I did play the arcade version. So I'm going to buy this. And I want to say I probably stayed up probably about an hour just like, just chilling out, just playing that game.
mhm.
And, like I said, I don't do it like I used to back in the day because, of course, of work life balance but and also going to the gym and just
Mhm.
have but uh it's a relaxing feat, just like music, or just like turn the music
Mhm.
on in the background and just kind of takes the edge off the day. And it's one of those things I probably do till I drop, no doubt.
I think a lot has changed as far as the social aspect of it. Now you have it being more online. You can do it more from the the comfort of your home and reach a lot more people now with the internet and now
Mhm.
having online gaming. Before, back in the 90s, it was like more of a social thing, social interaction, because you remember parents would drop us off at the mall with money. Back in the day, remember we used to cruise at the mall, or even Sharon, when we used to go hang
Mhm.
out at the mall, we would hit the arcade or go to the casinos. So it was
Yep.
more like a social thing, more interactions with people, more a
Yeah.
part of your, hey, what are you doing Saturday? I'm going to the mall. Oh, and by the
Yeah.
way, I'm gonna go to the arcades. And I remember when I lived in New Jersey, they had this place called the Exhilarama in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and it was just like this big arcade. And then they had like virtual reality when virtual reality came out. But now, like you said, it's more of a, hey, we can get online from the comfort of our own home after we
Mhm.
de-stress, get online and play with friends, or it's more interactive, but more on the online aspect and the comfort of your own home. Because even back then, if you wanted to get arcade quality back then, you had to go to the arcade. You wouldn't
Yeah.
see it in your house. So
Yeah.
Right. That was you were wishing you had that game back in
yeah,
the day. It's
yeah.
like, oh, wouldn't have to have this arcade perfect game, and now we have them.
And then even
Yeah.
then, you had the cool arcade boxes like the afterburners or the outrun where like the motorcycles move and stuff.
Mhm.
So it was a
Yeah,
whole experience.
yeah. Some things you still have to go to. I mean, even today,
Yeah.
some things you have to actually go to the arcade to get that experience. Because I still see those motorcycle like the motocross games and even the Mario Kart game. You have with the steering wheel and you get to race with 4 or 5 people. All the games are sitting like right next to the other end. Another great game that I've seen in the arcades is the House of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
There's a new one that came out a few years ago and it never released to the systems. And I mean, I wish it had. I think it's like maybe the fourth one or something like that. But you have to go there. You have to go to Margaritaville to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you guys nostalgic for that era of gaming of like going to a location just to play games?
Uh, I'd say not really. I haven't
No.
been to an arcade in forever, but there are those nostalgic. I do miss that whole interaction, or where
Mhm,
I do miss the arcades because it was part of us growing up. Like I can
mhm,
tell you, I remember the day and my reaction the first time I seen Street Fighter 2 gaming console with six
uh-huh.
buttons. Like it's seared in my memory. Like the summer of '89. Like I miss
Yeah,
those memories, but to be honest, I haven't been to an arcade in years.
Mhm.
yeah. I typically tend to take a ride every now and again to Biloxi. Like, so we have a Margaritaville over there, and we also have a big play. And they typically, I mean, they have a lot of games, and then like I like to go and see what everybody else is playing. Not to take it too seriously, but
Mhm.
just see how the kids are reacting to everything, and just a quick night out. It's like a nice little turnaround. Like, get over there. I might drop a few rounds. Like, now you don't even play with quarters. You have to put everything on.
Was it tokens or the
Like,
card? The
it's like a
card.
card. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like the card. I
Arcade
don't like
gaming
that.
now, if you want to go to somewhere like Dave and Buster's or Round
Yeah.
One, you have
Oh,
to
the
get one of
main
those
event.
fancy fake credit cards for kids, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more expensive just
Yeah.
broadly because some games will cost like, oh, this game costs 300 points. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
like
the
that.
let me do the math real quick. And
Yeah.
you do the math, and it's like, that's $5. That's
Yeah.
$5 to play like
Yeah.
Virtua Cop, and then
Right.
I'm gonna die in 30 seconds. Because
Right.
I didn't go to too
Wow.
many like arcades growing up, but I did go to Dave and Buster's occasionally when my
Mm.
mom was out of town and my dad wanted something for us to do.
Mhm.
We'd go to Dave and Buster's. And yeah, everything there was like, okay, cool. It felt more exploitative because
Mhm.
everything costs way, way more. And instead of everything costing just a quarter, everything would cost a different amount to. And it felt like they cooked it up in marketing, like, all right, cool. Here's how much we can charge for someone to play this knockoff Dark Souls with a touchscreen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think the most a game cost you back in the day, I know Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, they were 50 cents.
Yeah.
And if you were playing a game that cost like four quarters, like I don't even know what game that might even been. But I
Mhm.
know for a fact, like, you might go in there for like $5 and you just stay for a
Yeah,
while.
that's 20
Where
quarters right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
Like,
get you.
that's all you
Yeah.
needed.
I was
You
thinking the
know?
same thing. I was thinking the same thing. That was all day right
Yeah.
there.
Now you go in there, like, I'll go and I'll drop 20. And I mean, hell, we'll be out of there in 30 minutes. Well, done in that time frame.
If you're lucky, maybe 45.
Yeah. It's not a long time.
Yeah, because a lot of these arcade games are also designed around playing quickly and being done quickly. If you
Right.
spend, a buck 50 on playing that Mario Kart cabinet,
Right.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun 3 minutes,
Yeah.
which isn't
Man.
really a great value proposition
No.
when,
Yeah.
and you could probably buy a Mario Kart for like if you buy it used, $60,
Yeah.
and that's like if you played the arcade version 40 times,
Yeah.
instead of doing that, you could just buy the actual game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I guess like some nights, which I've never done this, there's half off night, but
Mhm.
that's in the middle of the week, and I'm not going over there on Tuesday or
Yeah.
Wednesday. If I lived there, that would be one thing, but that's like a 35-mile hike for me. So I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah. And also being an adult, there's just way less time to go and do those
Oh
things.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And then after a while, for me, you know, the older me now, the music and just the loudness is like, I could just be at my house. I could be in the
Right.
comfort of
Yeah.
my game
It's
room.
comfier. I can play what I want. I don't
Right.
also have to feel obligated to buy like a drink or food that
Right.
probably isn't going to taste that good.
Yeah,
Realistically, I can just do it at home and then I can do whatever I want and I have more control over my experience.
yes,
Right. Right. Yeah.
And if you wanted to gamble, you can just full on gamble now. There are apps and games online that are just gambling. I don't really need to try and get 50,000 tokens to buy a PS5.
yeah. And
No,
then,
you just buy the PS5
yep,
and
just
just be
bought a
done.
PS5. And now with their online stores, you have like, what is that one they have, the Capcom arcade? I like how it's
Yeah.
set up like arcade, but you got all the games right there.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you been up. I typically tend to buy those, because I just bought a Namco just Saturday night. and it was on sale. It was like 80% off, and I spent like $6. And it has like 9 games in it. And then I did the same thing with like the Capcom games. You could buy each game individually, and if you catch them on sale, you
Mhm.
might spend $1, $2 per game. You just buy them all. And they're all set up in the rows like an arcade. So you just kind of go down a list and you'll see the arcade boxes, like the cabinets in the
Yeah.
game, just like old school, like this Darkstalkers and Street Fighter, Ghouls and Ghosts,
Mhm.
Ghosts and Goblins, like all those games, Varth, whatever that even is, I see it in there. But it's like all of Capcom's games. And then there's also a secondary one, like with the Final Fight and uh, Captain America,
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Like all those games in there. So it's like, hey, these are the games we were playing back in the day. So it's like I have this at home now, and I've always been a running gun kind of arcade gamer anyway. So,
Mhm.
And
you know,
Lawson,
it's,
you bring up a good point because the last time I did go to arcade when my daughter was younger, we went to
Mhm.
like a main event. It's like a Dave and Buster's, and I
Yeah.
felt like it was a huge money grab. I was just
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh,
yeah.
I was like, oh
And
my god,
it's it's I'm not gonna say it's like 100% exploitative, but
yeah,
a lot of the big fancy bright lights machines are also the ones that cost
Yeah.
multiple dollars to win, and also they're way more based on luck. The fact that
Yeah.
there are arcade games out there where it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna give you $1 and I may get some tokens out of it, but it's
yeah,
essentially completely
yeah,
random. That's honestly worse than old arcade machines, which you would, okay, cool. Yeah, I know that Pac-Man's going to try and make me die, but you know
Hmm.
what? I know that I can put this coin in and get X amount of playtime. For a lot of
Right.
these more gambling-based games, you can't gamble better and spend more time there. It's gonna be like a minute most for a lot of
Right.
these things.
yeah.
Because then you're like, oh well, I still have like I need to kill another 2 hours. Well, time to stay in front of this coin pushing machine for the next 30 minutes.
Then I just remember the back in the day, you had that one guy that you remember back Street Fighter 2, they just had their quarters stacked. Like,
Yeah. All
I'm a
across.
I'm gonna be here for a minute. He just
Yeah.
people lined up to play against this one guy, and he's like the black belt, third degree, just
Right.
quarter stacked.
He
Yeah,
invented the game.
Mhm.
yeah.
But you know what? It's good. Like, another thing with those arcades is what's the one like with the claw? Which I was never good at those.
Oh yeah, the,
But
the claw machines that
yeah, but
the
Oh, yeah,
claw
the grab
intentionally doesn't work
yeah,
really
and let
well.
loose, let
yeah.
loose.
But you know what? I've seen people that are really good at that for some odd reason.
Mhm.
They could just grab everything out of there. And
Well, it's because
I
they spent $100 on over the course of like one day to get good at the game.
yeah.
It's
And
probably like the more money you get, the tighter it gets.
probably
Yeah,
because
Or
it
they
starts getting
figure out just
friction.
like, okay, cool, you have to do it in like this order in order to make it properly work. And
Yeah.
it's it's difficult.
Yeah,
I
it's
it
difficult.
it has to be it's not completely a scam, but again, a lot of these are aimed at young children who I mean, a as someone who was once a child, a former
Right.
child here, I was not good at maneuvering the claw around when I was 4.
mhm,
And
Right.
that's when I was most interested in the claw machine.
Right. And see me, I'm someone who prefers not to gamble, so I'm just gonna play Pac-Man.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And also there was like I think back in y'all's day there was the community about it because you mentioned the guy who had like the stack of quarters
yeah,
Yeah.
on the machine, but also you were going to a place and you could recognize like, oh hey, that's Jim. That's the guy who's going to be playing Street Fighter for 3 hours,
oh yeah,
so
Yeah.
oh
we
yeah.
need to figure out something else to do.
You had a
But
oh
it
go
was
ahead, Shrew.
also it was also fun to watch that person play that game because
Mhm.
Street Fighter wasn't exactly the easiest game to play either, because that game it would really juggle you around where in ways that you couldn't do it. But that one guy that would sit there and figure out Street Fighter Killer Instinct, you just stood around and took it all in. And also at this point, you probably ran out of quarters. So you had nothing else to do. So I was like, okay, let's see what this guy can do.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and
was he able to play because he had the expendable income to sit down at Street Fighter and stack up a dozen quarters on there and be like, yeah, I have the money to just keep playing this game over
Yeah,
and over.
yeah, yeah. He had he had the money to get better
Mhm.
yeah,
and then get to that point. But I also remember like the 4-player games, like the Ninja Turtles and like the
Mhm.
yeah,
Simpsons. I would just sit and watch. Some games I would just sit and watch. Like, okay, how's this person gonna do? And that was the cool part, like actually being at the arcade cabinet and you had the 4-player games and it was just you and
yeah,
other people, like, hey, we gonna keep this moving until
Mhm.
either we beat the game or you're gonna run out of
mhm,
money, or and then once you run out of money, you just sit and
yeah.
watch the other people play.
Man, I remember the first time I beat that Simpsons arcade game, and I must have spent about $7, $8 on it.
Mm,
But it also only cost a quarter to play.
Yeah.
yeah.
But would you pay that money for it now?
A quarter to play, yeah. But I also own the game, so I mean,
There we go.
I have it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it goes to show though that sitting down and watching someone else play games is basically as old as video gaming itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have always streaming is a topic that has come up on the show before, and
Mhm.
why people watch streamers is, a question that people like my mom ask me all the time. Like, why would someone sit and watch video games? And well, so you can watch someone else be good at the thing.
Yeah.
We
It's
Everyone likes
typical.
watching someone be good at stuff.
It's typically the same as sitting in the arcades back in the '90s. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, instead. I'm sorry. Instead of it being across the internet, you're seeing it firsthand.
Yeah.
You know, so same thing.
Yeah, and then you would want to see to just like, all right, how do you do this? How do you do that? Like sometimes I watch games just to figure out what's going on. Like I have the Saturn Saru that you
Mhm.
put in the back of the Sega Saturn, and you have like 250 games. So I've always heard and I watched footage of Burning Rangers, but on my Saru, I have the Japanese version. So I went online, like, all right, I know there's American version. Let me watch it to see what I need to do to
Uh-huh.
like, walk through this game. And it was the same thing too back in the 90s. I mean, we didn't have the internet, or
Right.
if it wasn't in a gaming magazine, how would you figure out what to do? You watch somebody play it and be like, oh, okay, this is what you
Mhm.
do. So you would learn from the masters as they were
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing.
So you can get, the hints and tips and tricks you need in order to do well at the game, which is part of why people play games is to win games,
Yeah.
usually.
Mhm.
And like even now, I watch if I'm stuck on a certain stage, YouTube, stream it, Twitch. Okay,
Mhm.
this is what I need to do to get to the next part.
That's how modern day Nintendo power.
Mhm.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, and because a lot of gaming journalism just straight up doesn't exist anymore because it wasn't profitable enough for some people.
Yeah.
I miss Game Informer. Every time I used to go to the game store, I would always walk inside and be like, "Ooh, I want to hear about the new Halo." I never owned an Xbox.
Right.
Hmm.
But I still want to be like, "Oh, I want to hear about Halo and I want to hear about how they've advanced the technology, in X and Y direction." Oh, wow, you can dual wield in Halo 2? Whoa.
So you're a Game Informer man.
Um I never got the subscription, but
Oh no
I
no.
that was something I grew up with, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
I got older,
Yeah.
and then I started like reading some Polygon stuff, and now
Yeah.
Polygon has also gone the way of the dinosaur. And
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I was a
Mm.
I was big on Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Yeah. Electronic Gaming
That's
Monthly.
how I got all my information,
Yeah.
and I
Mhm.
used to collect those magazines, and I had stacks up into Hurricane Katrina, and I
Yeah.
lost them. But yeah, I love that magazine.
So I
That's
started
I
off with Nintendo
yeah.
Power back in the
Mhm.
day.
I mean,
I
truthfully, I started off with a cousin that was 9 years older than me. That I'd be like, "Hey, I'm stuck in Jack and Daxter, Michael. Can you come and beat this boss?" And
yeah.
then he'd come, and seemed like he was a master. And he'd just go ba 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 ba, done, hand it off to me. I was like,
Uh-huh.
one day I'll be good at games.
You know what? I had a cousin that did the same thing when I was playing Double Dragon, and I
Hmm.
had to fight the first Abobo and on that conveyor belt, and I never could beat him. So I'd give him the controller, and here you go, knock him off, and eventually I learned how to do it and walk the game.
That's what I do for my wife now, and I know that whenever we have kids, I will be doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's what I would do with my daughter. Plenty of
Mm,
Wii games. Like, here you go, Dad. I was at
yeah.
Sonic Racing, Paper
Mm,
Mario.
yeah. Circle of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learn and then we teach, and
Yeah.
that's how life is.
Yeah. And that's just one of those things. The funny thing is when I had Nintendo, I never thought that video gaming would really get any better. I didn't
Mhm,
think 16-bit. I just saw what it was.
mhm.
And now look at where we are.
It used to be like, oh man, we went from someone looking like they're made entirely out of triangles to being made
Yeah.
out of squares. Oh
Yeah.
my god, squares! And now, like, look at PS4 graphics compared to PS5 graphics.
Oh
I
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see a difference personally.
Now I think that we kind of reverting backwards
Oh yeah.
if you stop and think about it, because everybody's kind of going back to the way of retro. Because the
Mhm.
games when we were coming up, we wanted our games to look more realistic. Now they've looked real, like with the generation now, it's like now they've gone more. They want to see more pixelation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
And we were all about the bits. Oh, this is
Yeah.
8-bit, 16-bit. Next gonna be 32-bit,
Yep.
64-bit. Oh, the Dreamcast is 128 bits.
Yeah.
We
I
were
don't,
all
I don't
about
even
the
know.
bits.
I don't even know where we even are with that. I don't even know if
Yeah.
that's even a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's all polygons and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you mentioned how games now are going back to the retro aesthetic. I think part of it is if you have a good art style, it's timeless. Look at
Yeah.
Mm,
Okami, look at Wind Waker, look at the
mhm,
original Super Mario.
mhm.
Though you can look at those games and be like, man, that game has a style, it knows what it is, and you can look at it
Yeah.
and be like, I know what game that is.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the difference between Call of Duty 7 or Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6? To me, they look like the same game, although I've heard that people really hate Black Ops 7. Um,
Yeah. My favorite Black Ops will always be the original,
mhm.
where they were in Vietnam. That was the first one I'd ever played. And then I think I might have played Call of Duty. Oh shoot. It was like two or three.
Mhm.
Because I remember there was like one stage where they told you can omit the stage if you wanted to because some people were sensitive to it, but you actually had to walk through an airport and you had to shoot everything up,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and of course I kept it in the game because I wanted to see it, but
Yeah,
I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, but other than that, Black Ops was my favorite in Call of Duty.
yeah. Overall, I think in order to stand out these days, because as we've covered in the podcast before, about 50 games come out every day just on Steam alone. That's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
games.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
Uh,
is.
and you need to be able to visually distinguish yourself. And back in the day, it's like, oh, hey, we're 128 bits. Aren't
Yeah,
we fancy? You can't do that now because you have stuff like Unreal and motion capture. So looking realistic doesn't help you stand out anymore.
no,
Now, if you choose to go with a more retro aesthetic, depending on which area you're pulling from, that will help you stand out.
Yeah.
hmm
And like you said, but it's more because even some of the games that aren't realistic, they could have an artistic style about
Mhm.
them, and that's the capture. And I feel like we're at a point where we've done so much, and then even when we were, you know, back in our high school days, there was these leaps, these leaps,
Mhm.
these leaps, and with
hmm
each leap, it was like wow. Like you talk about polygons. We mentioned when was it a couple shows ago that we were there when it went from 2D to 3D. And
hmm
Jumping Flash, for example, when I was at
yeah,
Sharon's house when he bought the PlayStation, it was like whoa. But
yeah,
now it's like, yeah, it's just polygon.
Yeah.
yeah,
The first PlayStation did not even have thumbsticks. It just had like the directional
Yeah,
pad and the four buttons.
yeah,
yep. That didn't come to the second one.
It did not, which when I played my first PS1 game, I was very confused as to why can't I turn with the thumbstick? I have to use the D-pad?
yeah.
Huh?
hmm Yeah, man. That PlayStation, that was good times though. With that,
Oh yeah.
I still enjoyed it.
That was part of the joy of new consoles is with new hardware, a lot of times people got like, okay, cool. Now we can do this thing I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think of Pikmin, for example, which was for the GameCube, and it was Nintendo being like, "Hey, did you know we can render 100 entities on screen at once,
Uh-huh.
and they all can move and do things?" Like at the time, that was groundbreaking. Now it's just another thing. Don't
Yeah,
worry
right.
about it.
And that's what I liked about Sonic Adventure. You went
Mhm.
from 2D to now you're an open
Yeah.
world. Sonic can do all this stuff, and it's like,
Mhm.
wow, it's
And they had
another
to, and
level.
there are also new challenges because,
Hmm.
well, with 3D means you have to try and teach people how to move the camera, which
Hmm.
to us sounds normal. But to the average person, who has never heard of a video game before, it's like, okay, well, you got to move the camera. Why is there a camera in the game? I'm playing a video game. I'm not making a
Right.
movie.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
So my so do you think that I mean, are we still making leaps and bounds, or what do you think?
I think at this point it's a little bit incremental. I think that a lot of the changes that we're seeing, it's like, oh man, you can have 8 gigs to 16 gigs of RAM.
Oh yeah.
Cool. It's not, there are less limitations on games, which is also part of the problem.
Hmm.
When you give creatives limitations, you oftentimes get really cool stuff. Like
Yeah.
if you look at poetry or what have you, giving people constraints like in a sonnet will lead to some very interesting work. What can people do within this medium with these conditions versus, eh, Black Ops 7, once again, they had basically an unlimited budget and they still put out a bad game. And then
Hmm.
you'll have Toby Fox, the guy who made Undertale, who worked on it for like 5 years in a dude's basement, alone with almost no budget, and it's a breakout hit that people remember for decades.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm curious with to really see with Grand Theft Auto 6,
Mhm.
like how much of an enhancement it will be compared to 5, because even to this day 5 is still
Yeah.
great.
But you know what I heard? That they're gonna have hurricanes in
Oh, ho,
6.
ho.
Believe it or not, I saw that like yesterday. They say Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna have storms and hurricanes, weather conditions and stuff like that. I was like, okay, that would be cool, when it finally gets here.
Eventually, because it's been what, more than a decade?
Yes,
Ah,
yes.
yeah. Yeah, it's been yeah, 2000 and what, 13 when it came
I
out?
think it came out in 2013 because that's
Yep.
also the year that I started college, and I only hung out with a dude so I could play his copy of GTA 5.
Yeah. I hadn't played it in a while. I have it,
Yeah.
but it's in there.
Yeah, one of the podcasts that I did was actually with someone who did her thesis on GTA 5 Online, and the fact that there are whole communities on there that just play together that treat GTA like a third space, just a place to go and hang out and be
Yeah.
around people.
Yeah. You know, I think the smartest thing to do is something like that. Like, because GTA 5 exists. Why not? I mean, maybe they'll do this. I don't know. Why not expand GTA 5 and, give it like another city, and make that
Mhm.
GTA 6 and you can travel between Vice City and Vinewood or whatever it's called on GTA 5 and like
Mhm.
travel. I think they should expand, like, because I guess we have enough RAM on the
Mhm.
machine, to kind of download all that. It's like,
Mhm.
why not make a whole nother map and just like, instead of trying to make a six, just make an extra, like an added area and just, go like that.
I think part of it is they like making money. And
Yeah.
it's like if they tried to sell you a map for GTA 5, like as an add-on, how
Yeah.
much would you pay for that map? I would pay maybe $30,
Hmm.
but they know that if they release GTA 6, which, would hey, they still would have to make a big map and fill it with stuff either way. They can charge $70, $80 for GTA 6 as opposed to putting out a DLC.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because aren't they doing a new like a crew racing game, and they're kind of expanding the map, or
Probably. Every part of the march of gaming is everyone wants to go bigger and better. Every game now is like, oh well, this is the biggest map yet.
Yeah.
For a long time, people were using Skyrim as a touchstone. Like, oh, did you know this is 3 times as big as Skyrim?
Yeah.
Right.
Um, but part of the difficulty with that is okay, cool. Just because you can make an open world doesn't mean you can fill it with stuff that's worth my time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just like No Man's Sky. You just
Mhm.
you. I mean, you'll never go. You'll probably never visit the same planet twice.
Yes, but are most planets more or less interchangeable? Yeah. Once
Yeah.
you've been to like a dozen planets, you get the idea.
Yeah.
But that's also why the game has had a bunch of content updates over and over and over again to
Hmm.
try and, keep it fresh. So that way whenever you come back, there's always something new to look forward to. Like
Yeah.
there's fishing now, and you
Hmm.
can build your own spaceship like from scratch.
Hmm. But despite it all, I mean, no matter how much they try to change everything, I mean, you're going
Mhm.
back to the old school games. Super Mario World will always be the greatest game,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You know,
And
because simply, I mean, just simplicity.
Yeah.
You kind of go there to just kind of detox and relax and just kick back, and it's just easy.
and then I think too, like with some of the games, they're so immersive. It's easy, like, with us now being older and having things to do, sometimes you just want to plug and play. You don't want to be
Mhm.
immersed because I find that I'll play some of the immersive games. And then when I come to a busy streak, I got to go back and like relearn or get
Mhm.
resituated. And it takes time to like get resituated. Which is like I was heavy into Fallout 4. And then finally I stopped playing for a while. And it's like, oh man, I forget.
I have to go back to this whole world that is very complicated and has a lot of stuff going on, and I don't remember a single thing that I was doing.
Right,
Yes.
Yeah, I
right.
find that as I get older, the more I'm preferring like more linear experiences. I
Hmm.
don't need open worlds anymore, really. I would rather
Yeah.
have like a 10-hour authored experience that's really, really good than a 60-hour experience that's has really high points.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
can't I just have 10 hours of really good stuff? Because, well, I have a life. And the
Yeah.
older you get, the more things you get on your plate. That's not a thing that changes. Unless you're Elon Musk and do very little and have a ton of money.
You
Like,
got the money to do nothing. Yeah.
if you have the money to do nothing, yeah, that's fine. But you get older and you get more responsibilities to deal with, like car payments, mortgage, kids, like your spouse. And hey, maybe you also want to go and have fun with people like out in the world and
Right.
Yeah.
doctor's appointments and all this other stuff. So
Right.
how do you guys find time to play games anymore?
You got to make
Because
time.
yeah.
I find that like on the weekends, I'll carve out time, or there's sometimes it's like, you know what, I don't have time to do anything before I go to bed. I'll play a video game, like you guys said, to relax, to de stress. Or
Mhm.
if I had a really, really, really long day, what's something that's mind numbing that will take me away from
Mhm.
my current situation? But
Mhm.
now I laugh because my daughter, she's 19 now. She's in school, college. But a lot of my friends that have kids, they're like, oh, they're gonna be gone. They're off on a vacation. I'm gonna play some video games.
But what's so funny? I mean, because my son is grown, and you still have to make time to do it because, like, you think that you have all this time. It's like now you got to rest because you've worked, you've gone all over the place. And like, it's many times I've sat down with the controller and I've turned it on and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna kick back and shut my eyes for a minute, and I'll get back to this in about the next 35, 40 minutes. And
Mhm.
I was like, and I've actually like, okay, like, yeah, I'm tired. I'm even gonna mess with this. I might do it
Yeah.
tomorrow. And it's that scenario as well. So it's like,
Mhm.
sometimes for me, it can be, it'll really be a spur of the moment kind of thing. It's like, I'm excited. It's like I'm pumped from with adrenaline, and I'm gonna go and play Daytona USA. and I'm gonna race the car around track a couple times, and then I'm good. I'm gonna go to the gym.
Yeah. Because being an adult means you just have less time overall,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right? It's like, oh, hey, it's not, you can't be in your teens again and be like, I'm going to play this game for 12 hours straight because,
no,
yeah, that's just not a thing that you get really as you get older.
Yeah,
right,
because if I pull an all nighter, that ruins the rest of the other day. It's
That
like
could ruin
I
my
can't
whole
do the
week because then my
yeah,
sleep
I
schedule's
can't do
just
it.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Now, there was a game I was playing about a month or so ago called Ori, and I would go like so far in the game. It's like, okay, I'm gonna make it to this next level, and I'm gonna stop for the night. And
Mhm.
I would play based on where I was and like where I wanted to get. And I knew if it was just like right around the corner, that I just need to finish this challenge, and I may die a couple times. And I'm looking at the clock. It's like, okay, it's 11:55. It's going. It's 12. It's 12 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get to this spot, and I'm gonna stop. And sometimes you just gotta like, okay, and I'll pause the machine because with the Nintendo Switch, you just kind of put it in like hangout mode and you just go to sleep. Put
Yeah.
the machine to sleep, and you go back the next day and it'll be in the same spot. So it's like no harm, no foul.
And you know
Yeah.
what's funny? I could just imagine the younger us is like, "Are you insane? Keep on playing. Like keep on going."
Dude.
No, but you there's no rules. You can stay up as late as you want, and you can eat just a barrel full of chocolate. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
till
but
it's
then I'm
not.
gonna yeah, but then I'm gonna have to wake up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Younger
Yeah.
me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think if it ever really came to that aspect and I really stayed up that late, I'm probably calling in. Like, hey, look, I stayed up all night. I'm not coming to that. I'll take it what you call it? Personal reflection day or
Mhm.
whatever. Vacation day. It's like, yeah, count me out. And
And
I'm probably still gonna play the game.
I don't know about you guys, like I have to get out and do things. I have to go
Yeah.
out and be out in the world. And it's just like that's with some of the immersive games. I make it a point to not get sucked in, especially on the time off. I want to go out and at least dedicate time to actually living life and being out and about.
Yeah. The real VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, because games are really fun, but also people are kind of important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love to get in my car and just drive down the beach and listen to music. And that's one of my major detoxes. It's like I'll come home from work and I'll just ride, you know, and just reflect.
Yeah, my wife and I will sometimes just go and drive somewhere and like go on a walk for a while. We'll be like, okay,
Right.
cool. We have not been outside today. We're gonna go outside and do something just chill.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we'll walk around in one of the many parks that Atlanta has and overall just relax a little bit and let our
Yeah.
eyes not bug out of our heads from being this close to a screen.
Right. And I mean, you have to break away,
Mhm.
because you don't want it to be the only thing that you do. So it's like, yeah, you got to get that fresh air. You need sunshine. You got to go visit that coffee shop or go get that slice of pizza. And just remember that you're still alive. The game is good, but you play the game. You don't want it to play you, and you get totally zonked into it.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me when I was in the Navy. So around the time that I was in, that's when the PlayStation 2 came out. And here we are, we're going on a world cruise. We're hitting spots like Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, Thailand, Singapore. And we'd have some young sailors that, hey, you're playing video games. I'm like, look, go out, go see the world. Don't be like, what did you do on your 6 month deployment? Oh, I
Mhm.
beat X, Y, and Z. Man, go
Right.
out and go see the world. That game
Right.
would
There's
be still
stuff
sitting there
to
waiting
do
for
out
you.
there if you just go and do it. Games are fun, but games are one part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A very small part.
Mhm.
I mean, this could walk your dog, kids, going to the movies.
Yeah.
That's another thing I love to do
Mhm.
in detox. I'll go to the cinema and and hey, look, it's nothing for me to go to a retro gaming store and see what they have like in there. Just kind of
Mhm.
DVD sections, all that old stuff. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, you're still kind of detoxing. You're moving away from it and
Yeah.
just kind of doing your thing.
Being a fully grown adult is all about trying to find the balance of okay, cool. What do I want to do and what should I do?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we're we're not we're not younger, so it's like you need sleep.
Right.
Yes.
If you ain't gonna get the sleep, your body's gonna let you
Right.
know you need to
And
rest.
I work in film, and so every time I can go to sleep, I'm like, yeah,
good.
let's get some good Z's.
Yeah.
Right. And that's important. And I'll
Mhm.
be honest with you, there's been times where weeks, maybe even a couple months have passed by and I hadn't played a game. You know,
Mhm.
it's just been that way. You know, here lately I've gotten it was like, okay, I'm gonna play for a few minutes, and I
Mhm.
also have to do my art as well. So
Yeah.
it's just you gotta balance it all out.
So I'm gonna plug this right here. This has been my new best friend. The yeah, this right here, because it has like a lot of retro games. It's
Mhm.
portable, and a lot of retro games I played. Like, oh man, I got a little
Can you
time.
describe what you just held up for people who are just gonna be like listening on Spotify?
Yeah,
It looks like a Game Boy, but it has two joysticks on there.
yeah.
It
So
looks
it's
like a Game Boy Color with two joysticks.
this is
Mhm.
called the Battle XP 350. One of my coworkers put me onto this. Alibaba, $35. It's one of those. It's kind of like the arcade box.
Mhm.
It has like thousands of retro games and systems on here.
It even has
Um,
triggers on the back.
yeah,
Yeah.
the triggers on the back, and then it has like SD cards on both slots. So it's one of those like the
Mhm.
retro systems that come out with all the different games or the emulator, but now it's portable. So it's my new
Can you
go-to.
can you plug it to the TV?
No, unfortunately, no. They're
Oh,
not
Mhm.
like kind of like the DS.
yeah,
Mhm.
that would be cool if it had an HDMI port to plug into a TV.
Man, I
But
mean,
what?
that's one of the joys of having a PC is you can theoretically just hook up your PC to the TV and
Yeah.
have fun. That's something
Yeah.
that we do sometimes when we have guests, people want to play a game like Jackbox or something, and then we can
Yeah.
just, oh, hey, everyone gets to play now.
There you go.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, man. My latest is the Nintendo Switch too. So I bought that back September. So that's kind of
Mhm.
been my go-to here lately when I play.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'd say we're at a pretty good stopping point. So, anything else you guys want to bring up before we wrap us out?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, and thank you for having us on your show, and we're gonna have you on
Yes.
40 something gamers. Listeners, hey, if you ever get a chance, you want to hear two Gen Xers talk about video games, pop culture, life in the 1990s, and then our take on the new 40
Oh yeah.
something gamers podcast on all streaming platforms. And we
Yeah.
also have a Facebook 40 something gamers podcast. Stop in, say hi.
Yeah. Check out Sharon's Quarter Challenge, Sharon's Arcade. Hit me up. Let me know what you think of the game. Sometimes I suck, sometimes I win.
Isn't that always?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've listened so far, thank you so much. Please be sure to follow, review, subscribe, do whatever, and tell your friends about us so that way we can, you know, talk like this to more people. Thank you so much.